After graduating nursing school, I somehow managed to land a full-time L&D position and a per diem psych position literally right after I graduated. I'm talking about I accepted the offer the day of my pinning. How I landed 2 specialty jobs as a new grad nurse fresh out of nursing school. After graduating nursing school, I somehow managed to land a full-time L&D position and a per diem psych position literally right after I graduated. I'm talking about I accepted the offer the day of my pinning. And before you think, oh, she just got lucky, this just happened for her. No. I put myself in those positions to get those positions. No pun intended. But no, it wasn't luck. It was work. Lots of work. I was a new grad competing with experienced nurses, and somehow, I managed to get not 1, but 2 specialty jobs right after I graduated nursing school. So today, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how each interview process went, what I did to prepare myself for each of these job interviews, and what I believe worked for me. If you're new here, hi, my name is Elsa. I am a labor and delivery nurse. I graduated May of 2025 and started working as an L&D nurse in June. Also started working as a psych nurse in June per diem. The process was not easy, so I'm gonna be sharing everything that, like I said, I did to prepare myself, what went into each interview process, the questions that I prepared, the questions that were asked of me, and ultimately what I think actually landed me the jobs. The first thing I started doing was stop using the mindset of, oh, I'm a new grad, I don't know anything, they're not gonna train me, like I'm competing with other nurses, I don't know this, I completely left that mindset right before my interviews. Instead, I put myself in the mindset of I'm new, I'm trainable, I'm fresh. They need to see that I am willing to learn and go out of my way to learn. So that makes me a bit different than the ones that already have, experience and they've been doing this for years. Even before the interview process, the job application process itself was very intentional. I had a cover letter for each job that I applied for because I knew that I didn't want to do med-surg or med-surg. So each specialty that I applied for, I made sure that my resume and my cover letter both tailored to the job that I was applying to. For example, if I applied to a psych position, I made sure that my resume reflected my experience in psych if I did have one, which I did. I personally put in, I was a behavioral therapist for a couple of months, and I worked with special needs kids. So I put that in my psych resume, and also my reference letters and my cover letters all tailored to my psych experience. I hope that makes sense. So for my L&D position, when I was applying, I made sure that my resume again tailored to the experience that I had in labor and delivery, mother baby, women's health, all of that. And for me, I was also in the honors college before I graduated, so I ended up actually doing a thesis before, and presented it, of course, before I graduated. So I put that in my resume because it reflected that not only was I willing to go out of my way, I'm willing to learn outside of what I'm supposed to be doing. So let me reiterate, if you're applying to different jobs, different specialties, you have to make sure that your resume and your cover letters are tailored specifically to the job that you are applying for. You cannot apply using a psych resume to an L&D job. That doesn't even make sense. And you cannot use an ICU resume to apply for an L&D job. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like the experiences and the skills that you need are completely different for each specialty. So your skills area, your competency area on your resume, your experiences, they each have to make sense. I did not put my behavioral therapist experience on my L&D position because it's irrelevant. Like, nobody cares that I was a behavioral special therapist for an L&D position. Like, come on, bro. And same thing for my neonatal my neonatal jaundice presentation that I presented. I didn't put that on my psych resume. It's irrelevant. Nobody cares. Like, they would not care less to know that I care about jaundice and babies. They just need to know that I have the skills to handle a psych environment. And that's exactly what I did for my resume. This is the part where I feel like a lot of people underestimate, like walking into an interview and thinking like, oh, I practiced all the questions, I know what to say, I know what to say from A to Z, everything is like written out, tailored. Stop. Actually, stop. you cannot prepare for every interview the same. Again, tailor the questions and your experiences to the job that you were walking into. I was prepared in the ways that I could be, but inevitably you could truly never know all the questions that they're gonna ask you. All right, so let's actually get to the interview process, right? So the first thing that they asked me, both jobs did ask me this, I'll be very honest, tell me about yourself. That's like always the open starter, you know, we need to know about you, blase, 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 right? Right. So for L&D, and I'm not even trying to be funny, these were my answers. Tell me about yourself. And me personally, I use that question as an icebreaker, right? Because you have the rest of the interview to impress them. You have the rest of the interview to speak about your skills, your experience, your all that stuff that they want to hear. You got the rest of the interview to do that. Tell me about yourself, to me, is an icebreaker. And that's exactly what I do for every single interview I've ever had. Tell me about yourself is my name is Elsa, I'm 22, I have a cat named Dixie, I have a 2-year-old baby brother, we are 20 years apart. What's it called? My favorite color is purple. I learned English when I was 10. I run for fun, and that's it. That is literally all I said. I just be going, oh, this is that, this is me, this is that. It sounds crazy, but like I said, I use that question as an icebreaker, and 99% of the time it has worked for me. It worked because like they start laughing and they're like, oh, okay, this is different. Like, okay, she has a baby brother. Oh my god, like, oh my god, she runs, she has a cat. Like, I literally get people, like, they ask me, they're like, oh, that's interesting, you and your brother are 20 years apart. I'm like, yeah, he's my son. So I use that question as like my little icebreaker to kind of like calm myself and ease myself into the interview, and then I reel them in. You get me. And for my psych position, again, I got the same question. Tell me about yourself. I said the same exact thing. I'm not even trying to be funny. I said the same exact thing. My name is Elsa. I'm 22. I have a brother who's 20 years younger than me. I have a cat named Dixie. I run for fun. I like to cook. Like, I literally went all in. This because, again, it's an icebreaker. If I'm nervous, that calms me down, and it gets them to see that I'm like not as tensed up. And they laugh too. Like, both of them, they literally like engage with the conversation, and I was like, yeah, like, that's pretty interesting. Now, before you even walk into that interview room, you're gonna need a copy of your resume. I know they already have it, but it's good for you to have. Bring at least 3. I always do 3 copies, 3 to 5 copies. I know that's a lot, but just do it. You're gonna need 3 to 5 copies of your resume that you already submitted to them, and your cover letter that you also submitted, and 2 strong recommendation letters. And when I say strong, I mean strong. Like, my recommendation letters, I asked 2 of the professors that had me, that I trusted the most, to reflect my character and my skills in a very, very descriptive way, and they did not disappoint, because those cover letters sealed the deal. Like, when I say sealed, stamp the deal for my interviews. And that was towards the end. So you have reference letters at the end of your resume. Like, I know some people do, like, at the end of their resume, they have like the name, the phone number, the email. No, I had letters, 2 letters, pages. No, it was like 2 pages of 2 recommendation letter from one of my professors, and the other one was my clinical instructor. And when I say they did not disappoint, they did not disappoint. Because those people in the interview room read those recommendations letter and said, wow. One of the hiring managers literally looked at me. She said, wow, I'm impressed. After everything we just spoke about at the end of the interview, they looked at my recommendation letter, read them, sat there for a minute, looked at me and said, oh my God, wow. I said, yeah. You need to get yourself 2 teachers that you know you well and will represent you and your characters very well, and have them write out very detailed recommendation letters for you that you will be using for your jobs when you're applying. Typically most jobs just ask for 1. I'm extra. I do too. I do too. I am that extra. And I think you guys know the other basic questions, like, oh, tell me about a time you made a mistake. What are your strong areas? What are your weak areas? What is something that you feel like you can improve on? Those are basic common interview questions that I feel like you have to have tailored to yourself, but also have it tailored to the job. For the L&D position, if they had asked me, like, you know, which they did, what are some of my weak areas, I'm not gonna sit there and say that I can't learn fast. Oh, I'm not a fast learner, I can't pick up things. Why would you say that? Like, actually, why would you say that? You don't want the job. You literally don't want the job. Because if you say that, that reflects that, okay, like she knows that's a weak area, but what is she gonna do to improve it? So I did not say that. I think I said something along the lines of, I'm learning better to prioritize my time depending on the skills and the task that I have at hand, because sometimes I get too preoccupied with one task that I forget, or that I don't necessarily prioritize another. Something like that. I don't remember, this was a year ago, I don't remember exactly, but it was something like that. And then in the end, I said, in order to resolve that, I keep myself on a steady timeline depending on the task that I'm performing. So yes, you have a weak area, but what are you doing to improve it? What's changing? What are we doing to fix that? That's what I lead with. Same thing with the psych. They asked me what's your weak area. I gave them one, and I also gave them a resolution at the end. Though this is my weak area, this is what I'm doing to resolve that, and this is how I keep myself in track. You get me? You're getting it. And another big thing, because sometimes they ask you like questions that you're not really prepared for, or that you don't have an answer for. My big thing is never saying no. I don't like getting tripped up in interviews. So what I typically do is like, oh, that's a very interesting question. Can you allow me a few seconds to think about that? And they're very receptive. They're like, yeah, of course, take your time. And I do. And I literally do. Yeah, so don't feel pressured to answer questions like back to back. Like, no. If you need a minute, if you need a moment, literally just, oh, that's a very interesting question. I hadn't really thought about that. Can you allow me a couple of seconds to think about that? And then they will. They're literally like, oh yeah, sure, take your time. That's, yeah. And the biggest surprise to me at the end of my interview was the fact that with all the questions that they were asking me, it wasn't more about, oh, your skills. Do you know how to do this? Are you experienced in this? It was more about, am I willing to learn? How do I handle stress and pressure? And do I understand the tasks that I'm being asked? And if I do, can I complete those tasks efficiently? That's really it. Like, they just wanted to get my understanding on, am I learnable? Like, can I learn? Can I pick up things? Can I maneuver without necessarily like, you know, messing up or whatever? To me, I don't know if it's because I'm very talkative, but it felt more like a conversation than an interview to me. And I love those type of interviews, because majority of the interviews that I go into it obviously like you're nervous, you're tense, but inevitably after that icebreaker question and I get a bit more comfortable, it starts to feel like a conversation, because they'll ask me a question, I'll answer, then I'll ask a question, and then, you know, it becomes like more of a flow. And I love that, because I'm not stressed, I'm not tensed, and it makes the interview process feel so much more relaxed. All right, so even before you leave, yes, you have to ask questions. And if you're shy, put it to the side. I don't really give a damn. Put it to the side. We're not gonna be shy for this interview. So you have to ask question. What does the orientation period look like? What is the nurse to patient ratio? What makes someone successful on this unit? What challenges do new grads typically face here? What does a typical shift look like? Like, I asked a lot of questions. Listen, I need to know what I'm walking into, okay? And not just to be like, you're not being annoying by asking questions, you're showing interest. And I feel like that's the part where a lot of people get confused, because they're like, oh, I don't want to be annoying, like I don't know if they think I'm just asking too much questions. I don't give a damn. Ask. You need to know. These are things that you're walking into. You need to know. I think for both of my interviews, they really appreciated that, because she was like, she literally said, you're asking such good questions. I said, yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm prepared for what I'm walking into. That's it. That's literally it. So if I had to sum everything up, and I believe I stood out in my own way because I was very intentional. I was not as stressed walking into it, because I always have my icebreaker response ready, and I actually knew the units and the job that I was applying for. It wasn't like I just applied randomly and went in. No, it was intentional, and I knew what I wanted, and I applied for them and I went for them. So if you're a new grad and you're watching this and you're nervous about interviews, preparing for them, walking into them, I just want you to know you are not alone. We have all been there. All of us have been there. But what matters is that you're very intentional, you research, you prepare, and you walk in there with the utmost confidence. Because even, God forbid, you don't get the job, God forbid you bomb, you can walk away knowing that you did your best. You can walk away knowing that, hey, I prepared well, I answered to the best of my ability. This is as far as it's gonna go, and that's okay. Not every job is for you, and that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just honestly have to be prepared, honest, and intentional about what you want and your answers. So honestly, if I can land 2 specialty jobs as a new grad, I strongly believe you can learn your first one as a new grad. And stop listening to people telling you, don't do specialty, do med surg, do med. I'm not doing that. No. Do what you want, man. Like, at the end of the day, it's your life, it's what you want to do, it's what you experience, and it's what you're gonna be working it. They're not gonna be clocking in for you. So you better make sure you like that job. Shoot. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Bye.